This is a 5-inch FPV drone.
And this is the 2-meter wide drone that I created for the sole purpose of flying an umbrella on it. And it actually works as well. The original idea came from a channel called I Build Stuff. He created this flying umbrella thing, and I was like, that seems like a pretty cool idea, so I decided to also try it. I had never built a drone this big, so I was quite excited. Yeah, definitely excited. For the design, I decided to go for a single block kind of design. All the components would fit on this little piece of plastic that I would 3D print on my A1 Mini. And because it's an A1 Mini, its build plate is relatively small. I think it's around 18 by 18. So everything had to fit in a very small area, which was fine by me. And while that was printing, I decided to start arranging all the electronic bits. I had around 3 days only to do this entire project. For the battery, I went with a 1500 milliamp hour and just a normal flight stack that supports iNav. That would be important later on. I had a GPS and a receiver and then just the 4 motors. Those were all the main electronic bits. I started soldering the ESC connections. This was probably one of the easier parts of the soldering process. Next, I tackled the flight controller and its very small soldering points. It's not a very good solder job, but I connected the GPS and the receiver to it. And then next I started soldering extensions to the motors as well as connectors, so that way I could dismantle and connect everything in one go. I started designing the motor mounts because at that point I had already gotten the aluminium poles I would be using, so it made it easier to just print and then slap them on. And once everything was printed and up and ready, I started assembling everything. Originally I printed the entire base with 50% infill, which made it around 300 grams, which is very heavy. So I had decided to reprint the entire thing with 20% infill, which dropped the weight down to around 200. This thing was bigger than I expected. Once the motor mounts were printed, I used them to map out the holes in the aluminium poles so that way I could match everything properly, and then just drilled holes with my little drill right there. I had to do this process twice because I messed up the first time, so these were a second set of motors. When drilling the holes on the base, I made sure to align everything first. I used my phone as a level just to make sure it was as accurate as possible. It wasn't, but it was around -2 to -1 degrees off, which was fine by me. At this point, we were reaching the final day so that I could actually test it. I started off with assembling all the hard bits, and you can see right there that's the second version of the base. I printed it in white PLA. The first one was in gray, but I just mounted all the motor mounts and onto the base. I did the basics and I left the PIDs the same way they are for a 5-inch drone. I don't know why I did that, but I didn't want to touch anything and potentially break it. And then I realized I forgot an umbrella, so we had to rush to go get that. On test day, I got to the field and just started assembling everything, which just needed around 8 bolts to just bolt the arms to the base, and then from there I could start testing. this was the first hover test. I say that was pretty good. There was a bit of wind though, so if you see it rotating, it's probably because of the wind, but everything else worked perfectly. And then I slapped on the umbrella, and I was quite amazed by the good progress it did, and it looked pretty good.
Like oh my god.
All in all, this project was pretty fun and I really liked it. I'll probably do a bit more research and make more fun projects, but for now, this is a pretty good start in my books. If you had fun watching the video, I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe, and see you next time. Thank you.